All right. Okay. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, thank you, Elaine. It's such a privilege to be here. It's early morning my time, and yes, so thank you. 3 weeks ago, we've just won the first DAO court case ever, and this happens in the High Court of Hong Kong, and it was a battle we fought for a year and a half. So
Wow.
we've been through 8 different judges. Um, Understandably, none of them had any idea about Web3, let alone DAO, a very novel concept. So we went from one judge to the other, where they kind of adjourned the hearing to avoid deciding. I shouldn't be saying this in the open session, but that's how technology and innovation is so ahead of time. If the system don't catch up, then you can't get justice delivered.
Yeah.
And the year and a half could be done in a year or 8 months, um, because we needed to find different experts from around the world, and we scoured the landscape and found that we are the experts. We finally had to pay and engage an expert who's in academia, just because he has that academia background, to convincing to a traditional court to accept him as the expert. But I had to revise and overhaul the expert report and have him just sign off. Again, I shouldn't be saying this in an open session, but that's how the frustrations are in when we're charging through, we're trying to find justice and break it down to the judge, and he didn't understand that the expert didn't have practical knowledge of how a DAO works. So it's all very academic and not applicable to our court case with
Mm.
unique facts and circumstances. So yeah,
So how did you
we
become a DAO lawyer? I mean, like it's such a new thing, right? Like what
Oh,
happened?
so I tell everyone, you've got to have skin in the game. I was with the top tier from, by the way, it's Oxford.
Oh,
You mentioned
Oxford.
here.
Sorry. Sorry. Yes,
No
Oxford.
worries. I was with Clifford Chance, Ellen Overy, and I joined the US firm for many years. I was in corporate finance, private equity, intellectual property as well. Then one day I thought, I want to reinvent my future. I don't want to be a traditional lawyer. What can I do that is so energetic, passionate, and powerful that is me? So, what would disrupt? I want to be a futurist lawyer. I want to disrupt myself every day. So, what would be the most disruptive force? It has to be technology. Then, out of Oxford, of course, my brain trust. I come across new innovative thinking, which was blockchain. That was about 10 years ago, and decided I should promote blockchain a practice area within the firm. None of the city firms wanted to hear about it. At that time, they equate blockchain with cryptocurrency, with AML, KYC issues. So I had to leave and set up my own. But before that, I spent 5 years back in Oxford to understand what this all means and how. Initially, blockchain was a social impact initiative in my mind. It will scale up solutions. It will help alleviate intermediaries and bring costs down. So that was from motivated by a positive mankind contribution instead of climbing the corporate ladder. And then that led me to a good place of knowledge and insights into how this would work, and there will be more future applications and disrupt all sectors. So I've decided, right, I'm going to start my own law firm. And the first year we had no client in Hong Kong, so I came back to Hong Kong. That was about 6, 7 years ago. The Law Society gave me a hard time because I wanted to be a metaverse law firm, but we can't, brick and mortar. And all right, I scaled back my innovative thinking to be compliant, and no law firm wanted to hear about it. I had no client for 11 months. My savings was down to, single digit. And I was thinking, but keep the faith, because I strongly believe it. And in 12 months, we had one client, and tears streamed down. So I just want to encourage everyone, if you want to be innovative and passionate, do your own research, deep research, iterate different scenarios, and just be fully immersed in it. Keep the faith and be passionate, because everyone saw I had skin in the game, and they believed that I will not go away. I'll be here forever. For the rest of my life, I'll be in DAOs, I'll be in blockchain. We do nothing but blockchain. And that spans across the criminal side of things, the civil litigation, as well as the commercial aspects. So I learned from scratch. I had my fair share of learning curves, painful lessons, including the criminal side of things, because there are lots of fraud in this space.
Yeah.
So now I've emerged, still learning every day. And this space is all about sharing. It's a very selfless space, and we love to share. We want to um, spread the message and the lessons learned, so you can go from here. So
Yeah.
I'm very happy to um, have this session, and if you need more, we're happy to return and to do more individual case study. We love to share our knowledge and educate space. Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah. So, well, okay. I think it's a kind of a rare session where we invite a lawyer to a design community to talk about this. But I personally think that's so relevant, because it used to be, I mean, just last year when there was this NFT craze, right? All these artists, what was affected, right? And then, it used to be artists has to die before their artwork is, even worth anything. But now, we saw like there was this really expensive art, because you can now prove that you own the intellectual property, right? And I think designer probably has this very similar, because we are in the creative field, right? And we're just also curious about learning more about how the blockchain would disrupt the space and how it's going to affect all of us, right? So maybe let's just backtrack a little bit. Okay, so assuming our audience might not know what the hell DAO is, can you kind of go back to the basic layman terms, like what is DAO, as in decentralized autonomous, organization? Yeah.
You're
And
sounding like the judge, so
how it
I really,
relates to blockchain and Web3, like, can you explain?
yeah. So so let me set the scene. Right. So DAO is simply, you hear this term a lot, decentralized autonomous organizations. Some people would not pronounce it as DAO, but DAO still, but yes, it's just in its purest form, it's an organization run on smart contracts. That's it. You can view it in different many definitions to it, but to me it's just a collective of people coming together with common principles and a common goal at one point in time, because things change when there are humans involved. There'll be power struggle, there'll be lots of stories. That's why we have the disputes now coming up. But to put it simply, it would be a group of a collective of people with a common goal, and the ideal state of play would be a management, no hierarchy, a flat structure, and management decisions get delivered and made on the blockchain. So we don't need to know each other, but we're still in a collective of hash keys or wallets. And we can still make things happen. No gender is totally diverse. It's all about your soul and your talent and your capabilities poured into this collective.
Right.
Of course, a lot of the DAOs would have a roadmap, very much like the white paper or prospectus or business plan. But this space is evolving and changing every single minute. And so is the business plan. It has to be in sync with, your customers or clients and the needs and wants of the DAO members themselves. So that's simply put.
Would
So
you say would you say, it works for profit and also nonprofit, right? So let's say IxDA, we are nonprofit UX community. So in a sense, we could also be a DAO. Would you say that?
So DAO, so some statistics here. There are over 400 DAO, 4,000 DAOs in existence at some point in time. We ourselves advise in the past 6 years over 50 DAOs. Half of them are gone. And the remaining half of them are struggling to find the right balance between different factions of people. So I'll describe the ecosystem in a while. And then, of course, the remaining ones are successful. As we know, 8DAO, a community DAO, is flourishing in Hong Kong, and we are the lawyers, so I can use this as a case study. And I'll talk about some case studies as well, because I think that's most practical learning for everyone. So DAO treasuries, I mean, the funds in a DAO, mostly held in the form of cryptocurrencies, are now 16 billion USD. And the number of participants in DAOs close to 2 million now. There are different categories of DAOs. So as you mentioned, Elaine, there's the philanthropy DAOs. So, okay, all of us get together, let's do a DAO for a DAO doesn't have to last long. It could be a 1-week DAO. Let's come together, everyone from anywhere in the world who's interested in like the Constitution DAO. I want to bid for the Constitution of the US. And let's put together resources, because this is for an ultra motive. It's for totally disruptive. And of course, the founders who proposed this Constitution DAO would have global fame overnight. So it's all win. Of course, they failed the bid. They didn't. So what? The singular purpose of this DAO ceased to exist, but they have a treasury. So it's very tempted to carry on. So they morph into something else. So that's the philanthropy part of things. So to go a step further, if I have a social impact DAO for food scarcity, then I'll get 20 friends to come as a core team. Because to get a DAO together, you need mission statement. It's very much like a business plan. And how do you craft the tech side of things? How do you issue what we call the governance token? What it means is just voting power to who? Is it $1 for $1 and a 1 vote for a vote? And then what are the proposals? So we say, all right, if we sell 1 governance token for 100 USD, then you have a pool of resources in your treasury. And then you open to any proposals to be submitted by anyone everywhere in the world, food scarcity projects. And then with this cryptocurrencies or your treasury, you can start making grants. And when people see you're making grants, because everything is transparent and open on your site. And of course, the project, because they're so open and transparent, they have accountability. They need to come back and say, oh, we've done this with your grant, and everyone sees the positive impact and they can leave comments. So you're open to everyone in a DAO. That's the ideal scenario. Of course, the things are not as rosy. So that's the philanthropic part, which works. The DAO structure and the model works for philanthropy and social impact initiatives. We ourselves, so often practice B&B, biotech, and blockchain, because we want to be relevant to humanity. I've done enough of the corporate, so I want to make things work and make my life meaningful. Whatever I do every day has to have great meaning or contribution to humanity. That's just my personal mission. So biotech, life sciences is always a deep interest of mine. So it so happens we chance upon a group of scientists from the US, Hong Kong, Singapore, and we're getting together to form a life sciences DAO. So how does this work? So all the scientists come together. Each of them are from big pharma. So okay, everyone can contribute 1 million USD into the life sciences DAO. So we'll do exactly the same. We'll do because a lot of PhD students are struggling to find grants and writing a PhD and research. They have no time to sleep. A lot of them from Oxford, Cambridge as well. I talked to a lot of them. I understand their agonies. A lot of them are from less privileged background, but they are deeply interested in their research. And it takes years for research fruits to come true. But they need
Hello? Hello, hello. Can everybody hear?
Yeah, it looks
I
like we
think
lost her.
it's a little
and because
choppy. Oh, Mon?
of
I
the
think it's a
expertise of
little
the
slow.
soul, the PhD students, and this will
Okay,
create.
okay, you're
Sorry.
back.
All
for,
right. Okay,
for
sorry.
1 minute, you were kind of dragged out very slow.
So this helps with the ecosystem. Now, what's the benefit to the scientists slash investors? So if they find some project in R&D initiatives promising, they could invest like a traditional venture fund model. But the DAO is open, and the scientists may not know other scientists from around the world who finds our DAO and wants to collaborate. So this experts group get bigger and bigger, and they could get to know each other through this collaboration. And PhD students will get to know each other, and they could find teammates or bounce ideas because this DAO space is really seeding everyone with the same goal together, and because they want to learn from each other.
Mm.
One plus one equals multiple. It's infinity, really. And I'm seeing a lot of synergies. I'm seeing a lot of brainstorming, a lot of business opportunities flourish within the DAO space. So you can imagine our life sciences DAO will gain traction because we have the experts, we have the PhD students, we have the knowledge domain, and we have the as successful scientists who have exited their previous ventures with financial gains and a stakeholder in helping the DAO work and be successful.
Can I maybe help translate that into what's relevant for a UX community? So let's say we have a UX DAO, right? And then all of you are members, in the UX DAO, and maybe we issue a token, let's say. Then you can vote for what to do, like what initiatives to, maybe we have a like sponsored events or some scholarship for students. And then maybe the junior designers can be endorsed by the senior designers if they've interned for them. So you can stand out from the crowd, the sea of undifferentiated designers. And maybe the senior guys can vouch for candidacy for the UX jobs and provide incentives for the senior members also to pass their knowledge on to the junior people, right? Would you say that would be a good scenario for UX community, or do you have any?
Let me give you another example of a DAO called IxDA DAO, INDIE. That value proposition would be very appealing to this group. So they want to redesign the freelance network in the world so that everyone can live their dreams without hassle. Okay, so this is the scenario. I'm advancing and revising so they have the basic model. So all UX UI designers come together in this DAO.
Okay.
And by the way, if you search UX UI designers DAO jobs, you'll see a lot.
Oh,
There's a great
okay.
demand because the DAO connects the soul, and this requires skills like empathy, user experience, and satisfaction, customer satisfaction. So you can be the creator, the founder, the contributor, and UX UI in a DAO usually wear many hats because they need to, because DAOs are very tech based so far. It's always the tech community, but then, you know, you can't even see them socializing. So the interface needs your talent to come in and explain what this all means to the public. So I see this DAO space being the right spot for your group to come in and leapfrog this to next level. So, all right. So, what does Indie DAO do? They are calling for, okay, a group of 20 come together. We want to redesign freelance because the gig economy don't work anymore for them. There's a lot. It's job based. It's task based. So there's no sustainability. There's no reiteration or getting deeper into a project. So you can't plug in that well. Then there's the question of stability. Not that the DAO would solve all the problems of the gig or freelance economy, but Indie DAO seeks to be that space. So everyone from anywhere in the world can come in and be a freelancer. And what do? They take care of admin. They take care of the branding. Everyone goes under the same brand. So there's a concept called multi-labeling. You might know this. So we have different brands, but we come into a collective. That would be the DAO.
Is it
And
like a Fiverr then? Is it like a Fiverr where there's
yeah,
a
but it's still job based, right? It's still job based.
Okay.
So the DAO.
Oops, cannot hear you. Moon? The sound is not, cannot hear you. For some reason. Yeah, can you guys hear?
No, we cannot.
Okay. I'm on, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the network over there.
Oh, looks like she dropped.
Yeah, okay, she'll come back in. All right, well, in the meantime, we can discuss what you want to understand about DAO. Uday? Anyone?
Yeah, so I guess what I'm trying to understand is like basically, is it like, I mean,
So I think traditionally, let's say an organization, right? Like you have like the CEO, like CTO, COO, whatever. Like that's a commercial organization, right? And then in a nonprofit situation like us, like IxDA, right now we're pretty flat, right? But so the DAO is sort of like issuing shares, but it's issuing a token. So it's incentivizing everyone to contribute, right? Okay.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Dawn, are you here? Can you hear? Yeah.
Oh, there she is. Yeah.
So right now, I guess, Uday, if you mentor junior designers, like other than having a big
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, you're back.
Okay. Brilliant.
Sorry, guys.
So,
Yes,
sorry about that. So then, Indie DAO wants to take care of the routine, admin, accounting, your invoicing, everything, and leaves you to create. So it has a free. At the same time, they will help promote and draw in clients and start distributing jobs to different. So you can imagine UX UI designers will log in to say an indie DAO that showcase their availability for different jobs. And what Indie does, because they need to build a brand, they need to be accountable to the corporates or to the users. They will qualify and they will understand from the different, it's like a university careers office. They will then understand what the needs are and communicate this message. So this will smoothen and to economize on each of the freelancers time to engage with clients. So it's a beautiful platform. It's not a cure-all solution. They're still innovating and revising the model and learning as they go and receiving feedback from both sides. But it's a starting point. You can see there's a lot of energy. And how do you vote to help the platform? If I'm running the DAO, how do I make this work for you? Like Fiverr will not probably receive some comments or feedback, but as an indie DAO, we have a Discord, we have a Twitter, we have a community group. Give me your feedback. Does this work? Does this not? And collaborators can then find their teammates as well, and the corporation will then start building goodwill with indie DAO and start having a common, possibly more sustainability. So it works for everyone.
Oh, interesting that they have engineers as well. It's not just design.
Yes.
Right? So it's a global network of freelance design and engineers. And
they didn't start this way. They started very raw. Now they have evolved, and two's a complement. You see, that's 1 + 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're encouraging collaboration. It's beautiful. When as a freelancer, they tend to think, I mean, I need this job for myself, and they always want to be the singular, exclusive person. But you can't. I mean, if you cast away this previous old way of, engaging with the job, then you open yourself up to so many. If you're selfless, other people will want to work with you, and vice versa, and the pie gets bigger. Yes.
Right. And then IxDA, you mentioned, like you say they're pretty successful too, right?
So IxDA, for the time being, it's a membership-based community. I love this group. Of course, we're the lawyers. And a lot of the IxDA members are Board Ape holders. So they come with an exclusivity. And they were able to leverage different speakers for more insight sharing in a more intimate group. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's for the philanthropy DAO we spoke about. Then there's the special group DAO. So we've mentioned indie, and then there's the investment DAO. So a group of UX UI designers, why can't they come together and invest?
Is that a actual DAO?
What would they invest in? Tools for themselves, right?
Okay.
No, I'm talking different categories of DAO, but then there's no limit to the DAO that you craft for yourself. So investment DAO would be a group of people coming together, and there's another DAO we're advising. So the way the investment, instead of fiat or even cryptocurrencies, you invest an NFT. So for example, we go support a DAO we find meaningful, like a ABC DAO. So you buy the NFT and you contribute the NFT into a new DAO. So that would be the treasury. And NFT, we could then support other NFTs. That would be the collectibles type of NFTs. For example, the famous Bored Ape, CryptoPunks, that would be trading, but that's a form of, put it simply, an investment DAO. There are other investment DAOs, decentralized finance as well, the staking program, the lending in the form of BandDAO. So DAOs could be a bank in the future. Yeah.
So can we say, let's say we want to support designers who wants to be more entrepreneurial, become design entrepreneurs, and then we come together.
Sorry?
DAO. let's say we want to support designers who want to become more entrepreneurial instead of having a job, right? Then we could have an investment DAO to raise funds and support the initiative. Is that how it could work?
Yeah. Even as an individual, a designer could come up with his or her own NFTs.
Yeah.
Right? So craft your own NFTs, support my journey to be an expert. So if I was a, design thinking consulting firm, I need to expand to, if I'm based in Vancouver, I want to expand to Singapore, but I don't have the funding. I don't have the team members. So what do? Okay, let me launch 1,000 NFTs. Support me in my mission. I need the next pool of funding to expand overseas. Then with the NFT, there's a value on OpenSea. And but you can't, this would be an investment. You need to craft it so that it's compliant with securities law in wherever you are. But then these supporters, what do they get? The NFTs, which is in and of itself a collectible. Then when you're successful, then they can see and be happy for you. And at the same time, you can launch and gift them drop, which is what, for free, the second NFT, and so on and so forth. And perhaps you could help them. Who would support you? People interested in design thinking, for example. Then you can have host a conference for free for your supporters to come, and you share case studies, learning tips for the next wow design solution, and this creates a contribution back to the community who supported you and build the ecosystem. But at the same time, you make a name for yourself. You have a loyal fan base.
Hey, Moen, it sounds like Kickstarter.
It's a combination of different elements, crowdfunding. But the story continues. Instead of a book or T-shirt, you co-create the journey with your supporters. It's beautiful, and they will give you feedback because they might want feedback from you. It's really a co-creation journey. I see a lot of exciting DAOs. I'm in this space forever. I was so invested in this. Every day we see a lot of different DAOs. It's brilliant. I can give you another simple example. A restaurant in New York, I can't remember the name now. Long reservation. Good restaurants take months to book a table. How do we do this? All right. Why don't I do this? I'll issue 300 NFTs to my most loyal customers. If they show us your NFT, they get priority booking. Within an hour, all NFT 300 is gone.
So it's like an exclusive membership, right? Yeah.
Well, you can make it exclusive or inclusive, however you want to chart it or navigate or design. It's up to you, but make it fun. There's a fun element to it. And there's an experience and a journey element to it. So this space is truly right for UX, UI designers to come in and craft something for yourself. Don't be too bothered with the tech solutions. If you go on to Aragon, 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 they have already toolkits for how do you create a DAO yourself. Of course, yes, build a DAO.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to create a wallet, and there are very, easy to understand tutorials. Play with it.
Coding. Okay, nice. Yeah. Right now the space is so techy and it's so hard to understand. I mean, even designers, we work with a lot of tech.
That's just in the mind. I mean, I'm a lawyer. What do I know about anything? So besides dry and boring law, but I'm a DAO enthusiast, and I want the law firm to be a DAO as well, because legal knowledge 101 should be shared to everyone. So is design thinking. I went on a course on design thinking, and I fully embrace it.
Can you believe a lawyer understands design thinking? This is the first time I've met a lawyer who
I
understands.
need to design the firm to be
Yes.
personable. So I start from the user experience. No one, I mean, but it's different because my blockchain law firm speaks to, blockchainers who do not want to come on meetings. How do you even know who the whales are? I mean, I know Bored Ape owners. There are 6,000 Bored Apes out there still. I mean, discount the fake ones and those that are in a police investigation. 5,000 something. Holders about 3,000 something. 10% are in Asia. That's about 500 in and around Asia. I know them all. How do you know 500 Bored Ape owners? We represent quite a number of them. So even with a Bored Ape owner, they were asking me, I have this Bored Ape. What can I do with it? The design head comes in. Why can't you license it to brand names? Right? Why can't you?
Oh, I thought Vivian Tam has Bored Apes on her clothing designs.
It could be. But it's appearing on sneakers. We have our own. It's on my WhatsApp icon. His name is Downey, DAOIE, of course, after DAO. So Downey is our law firm avatar in that niche DAO space. So Downey, I chose him because he wears a jacket, looks more professional. And Downey will release DAO updates and newsletter per month.
Downey, is that how you spell it?
Yes, it's new. So if you go on this
one? No. Downey. Oh yeah, I just want to show everybody. Like this is a Vivian. I think Vivian Tam's clothes is already these like NFT like characters, right? Yeah.
Do you know there's
crypto?
There's digital fashion houses, digital fashion DAOs. People, I mean, fashion houses are designing digital fashions for avatars, for people in the metaverse. And it's a big business. And humans, consumers are demanding those digital fashion. They're so beautiful to be delivered in real life so they can wear them. So sometimes you go to stores like Zara. I love their kids' clothes. I mean, can they make this adult so I can wear the kids' clothes? So it's the reverse now. So Downey will.
How do you spell that?
Yeah, if you type 7880 Bored Ape Yacht Club, BAYC 7880 7880
7880 Bored Ape Club.
Yeah, that's us. So okay,
your Bored Ape.
Yeah, so Downey will be releasing newsletter every month. So I can commercialize my NFT, right? You guys will in time to come, you will identify and we will have created a brand of Downey instead of the ape. So because the ape has copyright to Yoga Labs, I own the NFT to Downey, but then I could trademark Downey, the text, as my own trademark, but not the NFT. So that's another topic.
Information. This is Ethereum, like wrapped Ethereum, and this is actually $74,000 right?
That's just the bid. Someone wants to bid for this. Of course, I would say no because I paid much more for the Downey. So you can see, even with an NFT, you can flesh it out. You can give it life, and my book will be Downey, and Downey could receive, because Downy, we've registered Downy.eth. Now the suffix dot, the domain extension .eth will link to your wallet. So if Downy publish a book, then just pay Downy.eth, and whatever cryptocurrencies the book costs will go directly into Downy's wallet, and that will be our income.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Can we backtrack a little bit? Because I know that, you know, since last year, like with all this crypto FTX and, you know, the NFT, like some of them going down, like some people are allergic to the words, you know, like crypto, like, oh, it's a scam, you know. Can you explain like why you believe this is the future, and, you know, how, like, you know, how do people comprehend like what's a scam and what is not?
We need to break it down. It's not about blockchain or DAO or governance. It's about humans. When you have, you know, 1+1, when you have another human on Earth, there's problems. But if you have someone other than yourself, there's bound to be problems. There's bound to be rules. You need to agree or agree to disagree. There will be corruption. I mean, no one checks. Everyone in a bull market, no one. If you make money speculatively, no one bothers about accountability. That's our court case about. Even in the DAO, now, we all need to think more about the governance part of things, because the DAO, the ideal form of DAO, the purest form of everything on the smart contract blockchain, is not there yet. We're not there. DAO is still in its infancy. So a lot of the DAOs, I would say, you know, 90% are still centralized, because you need to start somewhere. You need to have a group with the idea, with the roadmap, and this necessarily makes it centralized and makes it necessarily skewed to the power play of this core group. Even with the smart contract proposers, blockchain proposers, yes, anyone with a token can submit a proposal and be open to votes. But there are many steps to submission of the proposal. You can submit something, but then the core team will say, all right, we will filter the proposals, the ones that align with our business plan, roadmap, and our principles. We will release it onto the blockchain for voting. Now, again, human intervention. At the point of voting, who owns the majority vote? No prize for guessing. It will be the core team members. So again, human intervention. Is DAO truly decentralized? We're not there yet. It's a gradual process, but there is merits to certain decision power rested with the core team. After all, they started the project. They have the vision, not the token holder who owns $1 of token. He or she can't, even with, because with the decentralized voting system, you will average to a mediocre decision. It's the philosophy of popular voting. Anyways, we can talk about voting all day long, and there's no one best way. So DAO, we're running through the different categories of DAO. DAO structure works for certain categories, but if you want something exclusive, imagine a miss or a whiskey brand in a totally decentralized format. No way. How do you protect your intellectual property? Code will never be a DAO. What about my secret recipe? What if there's some horrendous disruptive proposals coming in? My NMC for hundreds of years will dismantle overnight, will collapse. Some members will sabotage because there will be bad actors in the community. Yeah.
I see. So how do you, I know we have another Andrew, are you in IP, right? Like how does you know, this DAO thing affect intellectual property for creatives like designers like us? Like because I know for artists, like you can put a JPEG up and that's an NFT, but for designers, we create products with interactivity. How could we benefit from this? I mean,
Why can't your product be interactive on the blockchain? I mean, go find tech person. It's not deep tech. Blockchain is open source. You don't need a lot of deep tech. And craft your own. NFTs are getting very dynamic. There's something called generative art. Um, a two NFT holders could come in together and work, and the baby NFT could be born. I mean, NFTs are getting very dynamic with AI assistance. So I think we can't think in terms of a product as we know it, like a thing tangible. Products could be a service offering. It could be the design roadmap to NFTs or artists. We need to think more innovatively.
oh, when I say
Um,
product, it could be like a mobile app, it could be a website, like it could be, you know, like I think most UX designers we work in this area. But usually it's owned by the client, right? uh, how do you get a
Well, suggest solutions back to the client. For example, the restaurant owner, they run a restaurant. What do they know about NFTs? It must be someone with an idea that feeds into the restaurant owner. You have a brand name in New York. You have a queue to make it fun and instantly overnight you're a global name. How would you do that? By launching an exclusive 300 NFTs, no more, 300. With those NFTs you design into the privileges for this exclusive VIP membership. That's where you come in to create ideas and to propose ideas for the corporation. They are in Web 1 still, and they have a lot of bureaucracy. And so why can't you have a side project and, incubate within the organization this idea? It doesn't take a lot of resources. It doesn't take a lot of tech, but it could be a flash, teaming and a sprint idea to a pilot to start the transformation within, and you'll be, the star of the day, and they want more from you,
Okay, interesting. So, and are there any, how should we explain to other people in our organizations or collaborators or colleagues about what DAO is? Like how? Is there a good analogy for layman people?
A collective of common interests coming together to create something new on the blockchain.
On the blockchain.
And anything goes, it's a beautiful space. You'll meet, of course, there are some bad actors, but you meet a lot more positive people with energy, who share the same vision, and are willing to share. Very important. And they are not your employees. You don't need to pay them. They don't need to pay you. If you invest into it, they will invest into you. Right? Everyone is thinking, what if there's another Elaine, right? What if there's another Jasmine? How beautiful would that be? How exponential and how much more will grow. So why can't you find a you in the DAO space? And it allows you to be you because everything is anonymous. You're identified by your avatar, or I mean, I'm Downey now. No one knows it's me. Of course, everyone knows, but I could be another NFT and speak through that NFT. So it's a beautiful space to be real, authentic, and anything that is real, authentic, and true to your own passion will always be touching and it will always sell and will always find the right audience and will always breed loyalty.
Awesome. Well, can we maybe take some questions from the audience? Andrew, do you have anything to ask? Because you're in IP, I think, right? Hi, Andrew.
I'd love to learn from this group as well.
I just
Send me all your questions.
I just posted a note on the chat about it. You know, I'm no expert on DAOs at all. That's why I'm here. But it really seems to be an organizational structure that's embedded in a technological framework that essentially owns IP and uses that as an asset to, I don't know, do, you know, whatever the organization's purpose is. Is that an accurate description?
Thank you for the question. It's sorry, I've been talking about DAO. I need to wear my legal hat now.
Well, I'm asking about DAO itself, not IP so much, but really about the DAO.
Yeah, no, the question leads into something very important. Thanks for the reminder. So a DAO exists in the blockchain. So it opens the founders or the core team to a lot of legal risk as well. So you brought up a good point about intellectual property. Who owns the intellectual property if there's no organization? You can't even register in anywhere.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I think the sound is gone again. Hello, Moon. For some reason, the sound keeps... Yeah, we can't hear you now. I don't know why. Maybe come back in. So, Andrew, can you explain a little bit about how you're involved in IP?
Yeah, well, I'm a IP lawyer. I have my own practice. I'm licensed in Oregon, but I have a federal patent attorney license.
Oh,
So I practice in the U.S.
do you help designers with their IP?
Yeah, sure. I also sort of create and design more sort of businesses. Less, I'm not a graphic designer, but I'm interested in product and UX product design. So it kind of crosses over a little bit, including in the process of relaunching and designing a new legal practice, I guess. And trying to
Hi, can you hear me now?
How that can get product.
All right.
Enough about me.
Yeah. Okay, that's a very good question. Now, I want to tell you the legal risks involved in DAO. So, questions like, because we still exist in real life. So questions like, how do I pay the contributors? Some may not want cryptocurrency, so we still need a bank account. A DAO will never be able to open a bank account anywhere in the world. So a DAO would expose the core team members to a lot of personal liability. There have been court cases in the US who would deem DAO as an unlimited liability partnership because a group of people coming together for economic interests and purposes, commercial purposes, will necessarily be a partnership. So if you don't define your legal structure, the SEC or the courts will define it for you in the worst case possible. So be aware of that. So DAO without a legal structure will expose themselves to the risk of being deemed an unlimited liability partnership. So what does that mean? Each partner or the core team at least will have personal liability to no end if anything happens in the DAO. For example, if someone posts a scandalous libel statement on the platform, then it's a platform and the DAO's liability. So what do we do in such a scenario? In the US, there are some states with DAO laws already in place. The first being Wyoming. They allow DAOs to be registered in their state as limited liability partnership. So at least there's some cap to liability. Of course, for our Asian clients, no one's using Wyoming as a jurisdiction to set up DAOs. Who wants to pay US tax? So what do we do if you don't want to be under? Because then you will need to do all the KYC and AML again for your members. But if you want to be, exponential and grow across borders, then how do you manage that compliance procedures? So that poses another problem. But then Utah, I think it's Virginia, a few other states are catching on and releasing the DAO laws, but in the same format, limited liability partnership. Now, other DAOs across the world would have the DAO limited to the governance part. So certain proposals are still fed into the DAO for voting that do not have fundamental adverse effect on the treasury, which the core team members must protect. So you'll see a lot of entities, legal entities known as legal wrappers around the DAO. So typically you will have a company not limited by shares, but unlimited, like a non-profit. It's called a foundation. So the foundation is set up as a traditional non-profit foundation that will operate the DAO. So the founders would be the members or the council members of the foundation. That would limit the liability into and contain within the foundation. Is that a foolproof? No. Then you'll see complicated, sophisticated DAOs having different entities around the world to consolidate different jurisdictions' legal liabilities within that jurisdiction, and it gets complicated. For example, intellectual property rights of the DAO could be a BVI company set up just to hold those intellectual property rights and to receive royalty from different DAO projects. A DAO could have sub-DAOs. A DAO could create subcommittees. They call it sub-DAOs for marketing, for identify individual purpose, so they can then create their own proposals and vote on the direction of different pockets of divisions within the DAO. So
like that translates to it's not just a bunch of people globally coming together. Like we'll need to set up a legal entity, like a limited company, right?
Well,
so we can still fit in the
2-3 years ago. Yeah, that's still the case. Because this space is so nascent. We try and error. So we set up a DAO and people coming together. We park treasury into a multi-sig wallet, signature wallet, which will be governed by the community. Then things start to evolve. Then if we have investors interested in the DAO, what do we do? How do we invest into a DAO? Oh, okay, maybe we should need to set up a LLC to get the traditional investment funds into. So a lot of in real life problems starts to surface and issues. So more and more we're seeing a legal wrapper coming in to pay for something small like registering a trademark, and the foundation would hold those intellectual property because it can't be held by a DAO. And certain, if you have contributors, they will be deemed employees of the DAO. And no, inland revenue will start coming in. You need to pay your income tax. You need to file tax return because you're receiving even cryptocurrencies, your income within the US or Canada. So how do you file for, what we call here provident fund, your retirement savings? You need to be compliant with the law. Even though you operate in the smart contract blockchain space, you're still working for an incorporated association. So all this comes into place. All right, so we need to set up a legal wrapper or a company start paying employees, start being compliant with law, start filing our taxes. So DAOs, successful DAOs sustainably running will face a lot of in real life problems, and you'll see them setting up different entities. The famous Flamingo DAO, a collector's DAO, they invest a lot of 100 people coming together, they park their money and they purchase top 10 NFTs. It's grown huge. They were incorporated as a Delaware company, but they call themselves DAO. So it's really for you to define. So part of the decision making could be a DAO form, but the other parts, imagine them housing different types of NFTs, and a pool of funds will have to be properly managed with an entity. And because of the investment nature under Delaware law and US law, they need to be compliant. Otherwise, there's a lot at stake. So they will need to KYC and properly AML everyone, because funding are coming in. And the regulators, they will target the successful DAOs. So in the US, DAOs have been sued. Everything's anonymous. What do? The Supreme Court has ruled that the writ and the summons served into a social media where that's the contact point for the DAO is good enough and notice enough for the court's summons. You cannot say that I have not received it, it's into a unknown mailing address. Don't care, that's not my problem. If you're out there, even if you operate only on Discord, you have a moderator, we will serve into the Discord and you've been served.
Okay, interesting. Well, wow, these creators' names are all transparent, right? This is not anonymous. Yeah.
They are Delaware companies, so they have to be transparent.
Oh, okay, interesting. I have a question. I'm not even sure if it's related, but you know, all these AI coming out with Midjourney and Stable Fusion and all these, like, where's the intellectual property? It's like AI created it, right? So how does that even work, you know, anymore?
You can still register AI. So intellectual property, we'll be talking about copyright of the result of AI generated artwork. You can still, because you need your input. For example, I have different sessions with artists. Sonia, she is a photographer. She learns coding as well over a few months. And she took pictures, for example, of a butterfly, for example. And she would take 5,000 pictures of the butterfly, feed into the AI and see what generates out. The photography is her own intellectual property. Feeding into the AI, it's just an outsourced platform where she, anything like a machine processing service, which does not own her, will not own her copyrighted works, and whatever generated out of that machine processing will still be her own copyright.
Oh, so as long as you are the person who feed the prompt, whatever's generated also belongs to you, or belongs to the platform?
General idea, but you need to have an agreement with the platform that they provide the enabling service, but they don't own any of your copyright. So the terms and conditions on different AI platforms are very important. Read the small print. Because some of the AI platform do want a co-creation royalty fee to be paid to them. So read the small print. It's always in the small print.
Because I heard Getty Images is suing Stable Fusion, right? Like, it's such a new realm right now that.
But Getty is a different case. They those images were theirs, and the AI simply took images to produce something else. So the source copyright belongs to someone. It's not open source.
Okay.
Even with Creative Commons license, those are for educational self-use. If you start commercializing, you have to give credit to those deserving and where it's due. Otherwise, you will not rest, because someday it will catch up with you.
Yeah, and Adobe just came out with Adobe Firefly, which is even more easier to use than Midjourney. Right? So there's a lot of disruption going on right now. I think the creative
Very
industry.
exciting space, yes.
Yeah. Okay, how about others? Do you have questions? I mean, I know this is a new space for everyone, so we're all just trying to wrap our heads around it right now. Yeah.
Plunge into it, deep dive into it, spend a
Yes.
weekend. It will be worth your while.
Yeah. Anybody, any more questions? Livia, you're a freelance graphic artist or product designer. You wanna?
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, my name is Amrut. I just had a curiosity on the DAO as well. I'm also enthusiastic about it, and currently I'm pursuing my master's. So I'm kind of exploring this DAO space as well. As in, I'm willing to work as a UX designer, and just wanted to understand how I can explore and how I can learn more about this. I'm very interested in this. So just a
Yes, thank you for
normal
the
person.
question. I think there are so many DAOs asking for UX designer. You can work remotely anywhere in the world. It's a paid job, so just search online. UX jobs for DAOs. Sometimes it's project based, so then you start getting into the inner workings of the DAO.
Okay.
I searched online. I tried to search online. I saw 1 or 2 jobs out of Canada as well. So start getting into the swing of things.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
see what I
those
mean?
who don't have jobs, maybe this is an opportunity, right?
Take the initiative. I was taking the initiative on behalf of you guys.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's so new. Like people are just trying to figure out what the hell it is, and yeah, because right now with the economy also, right? I think like a lot of people are like, fired from their jobs, but maybe this is actually a new opportunity for some designers to hop on, right? If there's a demand, looks like they are hiring.
It's all right. I think thank you for this. I just had a question as well on this. Like what problems, like in terms of to apply for these jobs, probably I need to build up a portfolio on this on DAO. So what problems?
No, you don't. They don't need you. They know DAOs. They don't need you to be familiar with DAO. Okay, I was reading the requirements as well last night. Let me show you some. See, it's very interesting. It's just they just need your brains and your user experience. I mean, hang on, where is it?
Dapper Labs. Dapper. Yeah, some are more engineers, but marketing. Okay. Interesting times. Oh, okay. So here are some jobs. Design. Yay. Oh, look. Senior product. Product MetaMask is looking. Design lead. Whoa. Well,
there are more.
Companies hiring. Well, this is the future.
So the mission of the UX UI is to lead the creation with a keen eye on gamification. Okay. You will have the help of our community, our core team, and you will have the ability to engage in external support as well.
Okay.
about you: a passion for decentralization, a willingness to participate in DAO's community's activities will do. Capacity to work autonomously, that's you as well. To the understanding of UI UX design best practices is what they want you to come in with. Passion to bring unique UX to life with the understanding of gamification techniques. Is that what you can do? Of course, no doubt about it.
Mon,
Okay.
can I get your advice on, should designers receive tokens or crypto for their work? Because price fluctuates so much, right? So
go for the stable coins. They usually pay stable coins, like USDC would be $1 for $1 pegged to the USD.
Right. Okay.
So I mean, I wish all my assets were. I'm slowly moving towards that direction. I'll leave behind only digital assets.
And what, like in terms of tokens, because like the FTX Sega, the FTT token is like worth nothing now, right? So should we even receive tokens from the company?
Depends. If the company is well established, at least with 2 years of track record. I mean, 2 years is too long. Maybe a year of track record. Receive part USDC and part tokens as an incentive rather than the main pay. And track the price of their tokens. If you received it and you were able to switch to USDT, then that may work for you. If there's liquidity, that's something to check as well.
So the token would be an equivalent of owning a share in the company, right?
No, it's just token.
It's just
there's no share in share would be the company. So you just have a say or voting power. So here's another job. Create well-architected, usable, and intuitive product experiences. That's you as well. Gather and prioritize goals and requirements from separate business units, product engineering stakeholders, and come up with something. Lead usability testing, user research, and other qualitative methods. That's you as well. So DAOs are hiring, guys. Just go and do a stint with them. You'll be an expert more than myself in no time.
Yeah,
craft a journey for yourself in this space. You've said this space you're still trying to wrap your head around. There's so many people like yourself. So be the pioneer. Be the one who knows. Be the one who figure out, and then people will come to you for advice.
Absolutely, absolutely. How about others? Eric, do you have any questions?
I left my email, so if you have further questions, we love to share and get more into this space.
Yeah, maybe just one last question before we wrap up. Anybody else? Eric?
I was just looking at those jobs, and I was looking at investing in Ethereum. This is giving me an idea to, like, maybe if I get paid in Ethereum, I could save up from my losses from Ethereum 2 years ago.
Awesome.
What about Jasmine? Love to hear a question from Jasmine.
Jasmine?
I've been taking notes. Yeah. I think I should probably look into jobs in the DAO space as well, because I've never heard of DAO before. So yeah, this is very interesting talk.
Not just the DAO, expand yourself to Web3. There are other Web3 jobs that require so many, like gaming companies. It's all about user experience. So many of them.
Do you feel that has the investment dried up ever since the tank last year? In terms of investors, are they allergic to Web3 now, or you think it's okay?
No. We identify all the big scandals from human corruption. And if they go unchecked, they will get bolder, right? I mean, Sam Bankman was in our office, our old office. We've just moved.
In Hong Kong.
Yeah, sitting in that chair that you were.
Oh wow, really?
That was the first year, second year of our first. That's like 5 years ago. He
Wow.
came with in slippers and torn t-shirt and with a big head. I thought,
Over here.
do you need a lunch or can I help in some way? And he's like, oh no. He came unannounced and he sat there waiting for me. I said, you didn't make an appointment. He said, I'm not someone to make an appointment. I said, okay, fine. So he said, oh, someone wants to invest in me, few million. I said, where's your business plan? No, nothing. What do you mean? Where's your accountability? What are you going to deploy? How are you going to, nothing. It's me. I'm brilliant. You see here, it's all here. I'm like, oh, okay, fine.
Really?
So I gave him a list of documents I need absolutely to see before we can represent him, because we are essentially, we're a Christian law firm. We believe in values in this space. There's too many bad actors and fraud. We hate this. As far as possible, we want to work with people with the same core values. So from his dialogue with me, I didn't feel it was the right vibe. So we didn't follow up. But at that time, so he left. And then he became a billionaire, and everyone was like, "Oh, money, crazy, stupid. Why you let go of?" Any loss? No loss. So now I can turn back to everyone who say, believe in what you believe in and do not waver. This space, there are too much noise, too many temptations, too many bad actors and players, and there are traps as well. So first and foremost, be well principled in any space. And be responsible and accountable. Be transparent, be authentic. Even if you're greedy, just say so. I want all your money. This is a one-day DAO, I'll disappear. At least you caveat yourself and disclaim and be true. Then everything will be well, because you have said it out there, your true intentions, and you acted in the way you have announced to the whole world. No one can blame you. But don't do anything shady or behind the scenes or have ulterior motive. That will pull you down. You will trap
I'm
yourself.
glad you didn't help him. Yes, because he was in Hong Kong, right? Like he moved.
Yeah,
from
he was broke. He was near broke, and then how did he become an overnight success? Where's his accountability still? I don't see that. So
yeah, it's
we're
amazing.
very quiet and introverted, so we didn't bother explaining to anyone or justifying our decision. But we stayed true to what we believe in. Like the beginning of our firm, I truly believe in blockchain or the positive users, the social impact it could bring to a lot of people. We're very privileged, Elaine, all of us. But then what about the rest of the world? It truly can be applied for humanity. So that's where we come from, and we'll carry on and find a solution to, like I say, food scarcity, poverty, education, self-actualization. SAM is not about this, and that's not our value alignment. So we don't need many clients. We're a very small team in Hong Kong, Singapore, but all our clients are good friends with us, and we will walk this journey with them.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Molan. I think your values really align with designers, because designers are all about people. Yeah, we design for people, especially UX designers. We're very human-centered, and love all that you said and shared with us today. Thank you so much, and yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good day. Yeah, get in touch if you need help with your journey. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks.